got to balance things and say, do I want to leave home or do I want a beautiful studio?
Yeah.
Yes, I want both.
Yeah.
So can I have both at 65? I'm not sure.
You're not sure.
Yes, you can.
But yeah, just traveling allows me to create a studio because I have a studio in a bag. So my studio comes with lights and a tripod and a computer, and I basically can set up anywhere. So if you ask me to set up a radio or TV interview studio, I can do so on the banks of the Nile, on the banks of the Zambezi, at the base of the Rwenzori Mountains.
Yes.
I mean, how fortunate am I? Just so blessed, you know. So I've taught myself all these software, because you have to, if you're going to be a digital nomad, you can't say, oh, I'm too old to learn that.
True.
You have to actually sit down, focus, learn, and take yourself to where you want to be. And over 60 is a great time to travel.
That's
Because
incredible.
people just love you.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't think you're 65. I think you've reinvented the youth wheel. That's powerful.
Please bring your mic a little bit closer to you, my brother. Okay, yeah. No, so Geneine, let's start from the beginning. Tell us a little bit more about Geneine. Who are you? Where were you born? Where were you raised?
Oh my goodness, do you really want to know? I was born in Boksburg.
Oh, Boksburg.
Darling, I was born in Boksburg.
Who is
Yeah.
speaking English and is born in Boksburg?
Listen, my
friend?
dad was Greek and my mother was Afrikaans. So you must know I'm a bit of both, and then I married an Irishman.
What?
So, yeah, my children have a quarter of everything. They're a quarter. But mostly, I am called the real South African. So my handle for my radio is the real South African.
Wow.
Because you know what? This is an awesome place to be.
Yeah.
And despite my Irish passport and traveling around the world, I can work and live anywhere. I choose to live here. I choose to be here. I've lived overseas, didn't like it, tried them all, and decided, you know what, there is no place like home. And South Africa currently, according to all the broadcasts, is the safest place to be, because we are way away from all the bombs and the drones and the wars and you know, in Africa we fight with each other.
Yes.
We actually don't fight with the Australians and the Americans, and we fight with each other, we get over it,
Yeah.
and we move on.
Yes.
So my whole journey was really about IT. So I left school and wanted to always get into computers. But then the computer guy said, you can't be in computers. You don't have a computer brain. You are a creative. Yeah, you are a creative. You're not a mathematical brain. He was right. I mean, there was nothing wrong with what he said, but he said, go and be a landscape gardener.
What?
So I said, okay, I'll take that as a challenge. So I decided, you can't tell me I can't do something. So I went and decided that creative is a good thing for computers. Because imagine if you had to write a program, but you had no creative brain.
Oh.
So they put you on a road that went straight. Now my brain works like a maze.
Yeah.
You have to just see which maze part you're in today. But if you write a program, you have to know that the person who wants to use it is going to be using it creatively. So they have to find a way to marry those two.
Yeah.
And I just spent more time, obviously, than the guy next to me. The guy next to me would finish his course in 2 days.
Oh.
It would take me 2 months, but I got there.
Yeah.
You know, it was a matter of how I had to figure my brain to make it work. And then I became a project manager and worked my way up in Siemens. But then my daughter passed away. And I just thought, do I want to spend the rest of my life climbing around desks? Or do I want to write? I've always wanted to write. At school I wrote, they said 500 words and 5,000 words I was still writing because I had a story to tell.
Yeah.
And then I thought that's what I always wanted to do. Then I went to go and look for a job as a journalist, and they said, oh, didn't have a journalism degree.
Yeah.
Can't work here if you don't have a degree. And I was like, seriously? So I started my own mag. So my first magazine was a piece of toilet paper. It was, when I look back on it, I think to myself, oh my word. Who on earth would have bought advertising in this? But they did. Chevrolet did. They said, we love what you do. My toilet paper made it to the top.
This toilet paper.
Yeah, it did it. It made it. And they gave us cars and they took us around the country with Intel. And that was my first real sponsor was Chevrolet.
Wow.
And they gave me my start. And after that, we became the in-room magazine for City Lodge. And we did some amazing things. And then digital came along. And I wasn't ready for digital. So we let the contract go. And then I kind of thought, okay, what next? And then I thought, oh, I know, I have all these travel contacts. Why don't we do mall activations?
Yeah.
So we started to create mall activations in the airports and places like that where we could tell people about flying. And you know what was the best part? We flew around the country. We flew everywhere. And when Mango closed, I suddenly realized what it cost to fly.
Sure.
I mean, I went to go and buy a ticket to Cape Town. I was, yo. So I went to the place. I was like, really? Like, you want me to pay what? I was like completely mortified. I mean, it's the same as going to the theatre. I was like, oh my God, I have to pay for my own ticket. It's like, you mean this is what it costs? Like, how charmed a life have I been living?
Wow.
So yeah, it was quite an eye-opener. So I then pursued my love of radio because I'd started with Radio 2000 back in 2000 with an IT show.
Wait,
And
2000 in 2000.
2000, yeah. I
Okay.
ran a show until Randall Abrams decided I was too white for SABC, and he closed my show.
Oh.
And it was doing so well. It was called Short Circuit.
So he short circuited your show.
Yeah, it was my show.
Sure.
And they closed it because the guy they got to take over from me, none of the IT industry would talk to him because he didn't know anything about IT. So they closed the show. I was like, and to what end did we do that?
Yeah.
But I loved radio, so it took me on a journey through 702, through Midrand Radio, through 94, and all of those. So I had great fun. I
Yeah.
met the most amazing people. I worked with great people.
Wow.
And then I'm now on my own journey. Now I do my own radio, my own TV, because if you don't want me, hey,
Yeah.
I'll do my own.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just do
Just
your own
watch the
thing.
space.
Oh, I love
Boss
it.
lady.
Wow.
Right? I told you.
Yes.
I told you. And listen, I could have sent the whole voice note to the group to tell you about it. But I was like, you're going to hear it for yourself.
Can I have an autograph, please?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Right here on my forehead.
So, okay, so that's how everything started for you.
That's how everything, and I think one of the things I learned along the way, and I've tried to teach others, is I've tried to teach them that you can be unique. Don't be what everybody tells you to be. Like everybody says, yo, but you do so many things. Like you need to focus on one thing. If I had to focus on one thing, I wouldn't be who I am. It's like people hire you. They hire me and they say, okay, you're an entrepreneur. You got to come work for us.
Yeah.
Then you bring all your entrepreneurial skills to the company and then they go, oh, you're too entrepreneurial. You need to focus on being who we want you to be. And suddenly you're this person that they didn't hire.
Yeah.
And then they fire you because they don't like you anymore because you're not the same person.
Yeah.
It's like, well, surprise, surprise. So I learned that you have to just be who you are always.
Yeah.
Don't let somebody else tell you how you need to be.
But did you always know that? Or is it something that happened later on in your life?
No, I've always known that. I've always known I'm different.
Always
Ask my
stood your
family,
ground, yeah.
my sister, my kids. They always they don't walk in shopping centers with me because I'm just weird. I just talk to people that have strange pants, or I just stop them and say, I love your hat. I just love who you are,
I think we were in the same classroom. I swear, you were in my classroom. I know you were in there. Wow.
Yo, that's
I'm
incredible.
honored. Wow.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's now try and break down Anytime Media, everything that you do. So let's talk about the travel magazine first, and then we can break into the TV
I
and the
think they
radio.
all really just marry because digital magazines today are not just go online and flip.
Yeah.
Because it's a flip, you now can play video, radio, audio, and people don't realize that audio and TV is not audio and TV. It's not radio and TV. Audio can be anything. Audio means that you can reach your drivers in a driving sense. Let's take a company, ABC company.
Okay.
They have Take-A-Lot. You actually use Take-A-Lot.
Mm-hmm.
Take-A-Lot have drivers they don't even know because they hire them through Mr. Delivery.
Yeah.
But if a guy comes to my gate and he says, I see you've ordered a pair of sunglasses. Here is your order. Sign for it, which you do. But if he knew better, he would sell me the case that goes with it. He would sell me the different colors that come with it because he knows. But how do I reach him? I reach him through audio because his car radio can play internet radio.
Yes.
That's what makes us so amazing. Is internet radio is now on your car radio. It never used to be.
Yes.
But now we beat any FM and AM station because we're amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that Take-A-Lot can create audio of their own to reach their drivers, say between 12 and 2 every day. They have to listen to a new product on how to be a salesman. The same as TV. TV is not always just as we see it. It can also be played in your delivery bays or your bays where your guys come and buy things, your customer bays, where if you're playing your product or your suppliers are playing through that product, you can reach more people. So that's what flipbooks do. Flipbooks are a mechanism that you can WhatsApp or email somebody, because we've also lately we've written a WhatsApp program that allows you to reach more people on WhatsApp besides 5. Because you know when you forward something, it goes to 5.
Yes.
We've written a robot system that you don't know you're talking to a robot, because it picks up what you're saying and it picks up your lingo, your language, whatever. So when you say to the person on the other side, hey, I want to know what it's like to come to the Drakensberg, it'll answer you and say, hey, this is so cool, we'll tell you how to get here. You don't know that that's actually an AI robot, because the way we've written it according to your language.
Yes.
So now you have a flip book that you can send to everybody via this WhatsApp program. They can open it and see you here in the studio. They can listen to you, because there's a click for a live stream.
Oh, yes.
So now you can reach more people because they can click on the live stream. They don't have to leave anything because it's written for your phone.
Oh, yes.
Because remember, all of us stay glued to this little tiny screen that the world came and created for us.
Yeah.
And you can now flip that book and you can watch something that's audio. So you can learn something. Because if you think about it, our kids today who ride in taxis or whatever don't always have a phone they can see, because maybe they don't have enough data to stream video, but they can stream audio.
That's true.
So if you have a flip book that says, this is how you're going to get through standard 10, no, it's grade 12, eh?
Grade 12, yeah.
Yeah, I lost the plot somewhere.
No.
So grade 12. So you can now give them teachings that can help them via audio. Because also if they're home and they don't have a mom or dad who's out working, but they're looking after their siblings, they can hoover and listen at the same time. Because the flip book allows them now to go and flip, to go backwards and forwards to lessons. So you see that flip book is not only for leisure reading, it's for teaching, it's for education. And with AI, you can now write a whole book. I've just written 2 books, one on audio in churches and how churches can increase their congregation using audio and video.
Wow.
As well as writing a book on how to run a small business. And thanks to AI, I waffle.
Yeah.
So I can waffle forever, but it doesn't always reach the point. But I can put my waffle into AI and say, please write this into an understandable.
Yeah.
And that's what it does. So that's really what Anytime does. It creates opportunities and creatives for so many things to be able to, as you can see with my t-shirt, I have loads of branding.
Yeah.
I have branding which I carry with me, and I carry my studio all around Africa with me.
That's beautiful.
And that makes Africa awesome.
So now I just want to go to how you incorporate the magazine with the TV. So you're saying the links to visuals to TV is also
It's all
on
in
the
the flip book. Yeah.
So you've incorporated audio, visuals, and text.
And text, all in one flip book. So when you click on the right-hand side, the page turns. You can go backwards and forwards. It can pop up automatically.
And it doesn't take up much space on your phone.
Doesn't take up any space on your phone, correct.
That's incredible.
So you're able to stream onto YouTube. You're able to go onto Facebook. You're able to do all kinds of stuff using a flipbook opportunity, which incorporates all the things that we are into one module. And I'm able to send out just a picture to say, hey guys, why don't you link? This is the new magazine. So I do 16 different titles, because every time I find an interesting subject, I go down this rabbit hole.
Okay.
It's like I have a movie, I have a book on ghosts, because I love ghosts. I love skulls. So they marry together in making the most amazing magazine, because I can talk about ghosts and I can incorporate skull pictures and I can have the best fun ever.
Oh, wow.
So you can create something on how to design your home, how to choose a new home, you can create magazines for every subject you can think of. I've even got one about cruising. Because cruising's become a big thing.
Yeah.
I've created one about sustainability called Mother Earth. Wow. So every time you could think up a name that works for you.
Yeah.
So you can go, what shall I call it? So like my magazine for ghosts is called Ghosts, obviously.
Okay.
The magazine for home is called Home, etc.
Wait, hold on.
Had fun.
Wait. I wanted to just stop you there on the ghost.
I can't talk. I'm in the presence of a master. I need you to mentor and teach me, please.
You know what I mean?
I see how you guys are taking it all in.
You already knew this. You know what?
I already knew. I told you that I wasn't going to tell you everything about Geneine before she comes in here. Okay, so Geneine, just on the ghost stuff. So it's a real subject. It's real.
It is. It has a bigger following. My Ghost magazine, when I send it out, it has more clicks than anything else. So when a customer says, please email, because we've got this emailing system that we wrote that emails like 2 million people a month. So when I send out something for a client, I always add the Ghost magazine. Because if I don't, my clicks go from a percentage of, let's say I send out a normal one, the clicks are around about 12-15%.
Yeah.
If I add the Ghost, it goes up to 45.
What?
Whoa.
Because it's a hugely interesting subject.
It is.
Because people are secretly, and I talk secretly because you could be the most heaviest religious dude in the planet. But secretly on your phone, you can click on the bookshelf of Ghosts and you can go and look at it because nobody else can see what you're doing.
Yes.
You know? It's a bit like porno, I suppose. So you can kind of look at this magazine.
So a question, what are one of the articles in the Ghost, like what was one of the most popular like articles in the Ghost series?
It's how to detect ghosts in your area, because there's apps that are written that you can detect if there is a soul around you, or if there is but you know what, it could be the biggest bullshit ever, but it doesn't matter. People just see it and they go, oh, there's a ghost around me. How does that app know that? It doesn't, but your reality in your brain says, hey, there's a ghost around us.
Real.
Yeah, have some fun. So you know what it's all about? The crap that you get fed.
I'm actually curious about that because I remember like with the Tesla cars. I know I've seen several videos online where they would go drive to like a graveyard site and they say that the sensors on the car you actually can see people walking around. So I'm curious, have you
that graveyard stuff is great. You've got to go 12 o'clock to the graveyard. Because the graveyard in Bromfontein is my best. So you go 12 o'clock. I mean, how scary is Joburg? So what's the difference in going into a graveyard? Who's going to get you in the graveyard? Something you can't see. It's the same as walking in Joburg. You get hit over the head with somebody you can't see. So what's the difference? So you can see on these apps how you get people who talk to you, obviously from the dead. It says, what is your name? And this is how I died. And, you know, all that kind of, and you know, it could be the biggest load of crap, but you know what? You look at it and you love it and you're frightened by it. And people are fascinated by stuff they cannot see. They cannot see it, they cannot touch it, they cannot feel it.
Yes.
But when they go into an environment that, because there's a lot of ghost stories in South Africa, it's wonderful. You've got guys who see people they pick up and they put them in the back seat, but when they get to where they're going, the person in the back seat's no longer there because it's the same hitchhiker. They're just trying to get home and cannot.
Wow. Is that the same thing? I keep hearing about this thing called a dogolosh.
A tokolosh.
Is that the same thing?
How to get it right?
I've heard about that so many times. I'm like, yo.
And I guess you haven't been sleeping ever since you heard about it. And let me tell you, so with black people, we believe that you need to put your bed on
bricks,
on bricks. Or like 5-liter paint tins, so that the tokoloshi doesn't get on top of your bed.
When I was little, we used to go into our helper's room, and her bed was always on bricks.
Yeah,
and it was because of the tokolosh.
You know what?
And that's why I'm saying fascination with ghosts and people and things you can't see fascinates people.
Yeah.
So create a subject. If you want somebody to listen to your radio, you've got something called Bogart Man. So go and find men of interest throughout the world, like what was his name, Mahatma Gandhi, and imagine what he would have looked like in a pair of your jeans.
Wow.
Yo, fire. That's absolutely
exactly
fire.
Advertising right there.
Advertising, you know, all that kind of stuff. It's really a way of bringing forward historical creatures, not creatures, but people who were interesting to us. And how do we get our kids interested in history?
Yes. That's powerful.
You bring history into today.
My goodness.
And AI can just
And
make
I
it easy.
can help you with that.
And you said you came from where?
Boxburg, darling. Boxburg.
Yeah, I bet.
Isn't that where
Out of the Boxburg.
isn't that where Charlize Theron also comes from?
Yeah, she does. And she said there were 40 Afrikaners, but they weren't. There were 44 because they're all now in the States.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So she was wrong, actually. But then they probably had kids, so
Yeah.
it counted for the extra ones.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
All right. If you just tuned in, this is the Gentleman's Club. We're having such a great conversation with our guest. And of course, Geneine has us in stitches right here. All right. So we're going to take a quick break to hear the sports updates with Thabang and Rihanna with some health tips. And when we come back, we're going to continue our travel discussions and just get some wisdom. This is wisdom personified. Boys did not expect this morning. I'll tell you what.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I don't feel great anymore.
You don't feel great no more. All right. Thabang, are you standing by, my brother? Let's hear from you.
Thank you very much, Uncle Zach and the team. And these are your sports update on the Gentleman's Club. I'm Thabang Lechela. Good morning. Brentford have confirmed the appointment of Keith Andrews as their new manager, promoting the former set-piece coach to the top job after Thomas Frank's move to Tottenham. Andrews, who's 43 years old, steps into the role after just one season on Brentford's coaching staff, continuing a rapid coaching rise that began following his retirement as a player in 2015. The former Republic of Ireland international, who earned 35 caps during his playing career, began his coaching journey at MK Dons, where he finished his playing days and became the assistant manager. Meanwhile, Brentford director of football Phil Gales, the club have known Andrew for a while and always had him in mind for a role at some point in the future. Mamelodi Sundowns coach Miguel Cardoso delivered a remark to the club's detractors after their FIFA Club World Cup campaign ended in the group stages. The Portuguese mentor highlighted the impact of the Betway Premiership that had on the tournament in the USA, being admired by fans for their display against Ulsan, Borussia Dortmund, Fluminense in the Group F. Cardoso says they were not outplayed at all, even though they missed on a knockout stages and they are headed home. Now off to some athletic news. The organizers of the Absa Run Your City 10 kilometers still water sports have offered 100,000 prize to Stephen Mokoka if he breaks the long-standing 10 kilometer masters record at the upcoming Durban race on the 13th of July. The 40-year-old is aiming to surpass Kenyan's Bernard Laggart's record of the 27 minutes 48 seconds set in Manchester in 2015. Mokoka has been training intensely with the goal in mind and welcomed the generous incentive from the organizers, but he however said that his motivation to break the record goes beyond the prize money, although he appreciates the support. Now off to some tennis news. Carlos Alcaraz will start his Wimbledon defense against Fabio Fognini, while world number one Jannik Sinner faces a potential semi-final clash against Novak Djokovic following Friday's draw. On the women's side, reigning champions Barbara Krejcikova will begin her campaign against rising star Alexandra Ayala on the center court if she can recover from the injury. Spain's Alcaraz, who has beaten Djokovic in the past two finals at the All England Club, returns to Wimbledon, which starts on Monday. On a career 18 best match winning streak, he aims to be just the fifth man to win at least three straight Wimbledon titles in the Open era after Jean Bock, Pete Sampras, Roger Federer, and Djokovic. Those were your sports update. Till we meet again next week, it's good morning.
Good morning, my brother. Thank you very much. And this time around, let's hear from Rihanna all the way from Dubai, giving us some tips on health and what to eat and that kind of stuff. Let's take a listen.
Good morning, Uncle Zach, and to all of the Bogart radio listeners. This is Rihanna, your health expert, sharing some quick and easy tips on how to get that summer body or even just to help improve your longevity. Now, the exercises that I have today, or the tips that I have to share with you today, are for all of those who have a 9-to-5 desk job. The first thing that I want you to do is set your alarm for every 30 minutes. And once your alarm goes off, you are going to perform the following movements. And these can be performed in your chair. All you need to do is push yourself away from the desk and you are going to perform these exercises. The first one is you are going to rotate your hands so you're getting some mobility into your wrist. We all know that uncomfortable feeling of putting your hand on the mouse or your hand on the keyboard. This is going to help improve the blood flow. Then the next thing you are going to do is you are going to stand out from your chair and you are going to perform 10 jumping jacks. Once you've done that, you are then going to perform 10 squats and you're going to sit in your chair and you're going to rotate your shoulders back and forth. Now, what I want you to do is every 30 minutes, when your alarm goes off, you are going to perform those exercises. And this includes the radio jockeys too. I know that you're sitting behind your desk with the headphones on and you are sitting there for 4 hours or even up to 6 hours. This is going to help improve your focus, your concentration, and get some blood flow inside. You're going to feel so much better and you're going to perform so much easier too. Hope you enjoy these exercises and tips that I provide every single week. Good luck, guys. Have an amazing weekend.
This is Bogart Man Radio.
Thank you very much, Rihanna. Thank you so much for those tips, man. Man, I tell you what, it's something else to try and keep healthy as much as possible. So thank you very much, Rihanna, for sharing those tips. And I hope they work for you and you can make use of them. And she'll be back again sometime next week. So right back to our conversation with our lovely guest. And of course, I'm so happy to have her here. Geneine, so let's talk about travel. You were just telling us that you've gone to about 89 countries. Is that it?
That's it, because I used to be a tour guide for a friend of mine who had a sports company. Okay. So I used to take drunken South Africans to watch rugby and soccer around the world.
Drunken South Africans?
Oh yeah, because by the time they got off on the other side, they were completely pissed. So the booze companies would always give them booze before they left. I mean, how stupid are they? So they would drink it on the way there. I mean, duh. And you know what the interesting thing about these South Africans, they would get off the plane, they would head for the closest South African pub, they would drink themselves even more stupid. Then they would go to the match or whatever the match was the next day. Then they'd fly home, having seen what? The flippin' local South African pub in another country. So why spend all that money when you could have just stayed here and watched it on TV? Well, that would have been my thought, wouldn't it? Yeah. But then again, I wouldn't have travelled. Yeah. So I thank them for being who they were so that I could get to travel. So I was very fortunate. I was a tour guide and I got to see a lot of things. So I was very lucky because I didn't have to look after them. They were drunk after all. So I could leave them where they were and go off and explore, which is what was great for me. And then I started to look, once I'd finished traveling around the world, because I'm a digital nomad, so I can literally work from anywhere. But it's a very lonely experience. Okay. I must tell you, being digital nomad is lonely because you're in a country where you don't really know anyone. And although you broadcast and you see beautiful things, you see them alone. Oh, yes. You see them on your own. So you're kind of not in a group you can't relate to anyone around you because you don't live there. Yes. So people think that being a digital nomad is this amazing thing. It is, but it isn't. Where it's a lonely experience as well because you really can't connect with others. But it does get you to see the world. So hey, you know what? You can't have it always. But traveling through Africa has been great because I've been invited by the tourism associations and the tourism agencies to come and visit their country. So I've been their guest. And that's been amazing because they've taken me to see lovely things. And because I'm a guest, I also get to interview the general manager. And for me, the experience has been around interviewing the chef and asking him about his favorite dish. And this guy who's normally in the back is now being on TV because we put the TV camera up and we video him making his favorite dish. And he suddenly becomes this amazing man. He becomes a chef of note. He becomes Gordon Ramsay. Because he's in front of the cameras and he's first a little shy, but then you see how he starts to show his pan and how it's sizzling, and then when it's over,
as soon as the camera comes,
is it finished? Yeah, because they're not normally the guys interviewed. Yes. We interviewed the housekeeper. We asked them, how do you make a bed? Wow. And suddenly they're important, because they are important. When you're visiting a hotel and you get back, you want your bed to be perfect.
Yes.
So these people are the ones who make it perfect. So the lady I remember in Lamala up in Uganda, I said to her, okay, let's go and see, how do we make a bed? Well, 15 minutes later, I was really like over this. And I was like, okay, so we like it. She says, and then we put the beans where we say good night. I said, okay, at that point, I'm going to leave you to your beans. Like, but she was just, she spoke and spoke and spoke. And then as we were leaving, she said, don't you want to see me fold towels?
Oh.
So I was like, okay. So I thought she was going to make like a swan or an elephant or one of those, you know. And she took it and she folded it in half and folded it in half again and hung it up and said, see, that's how we fold a towel.
Wow.
And I was like, thank you for sharing that. But she was so proud of her job. And I think that's the thing that we bring into Africa is that's the fact that we are proud of what we do because we're African, and we forget that. We forget that being African is amazing.
Yeah.
So with the way that I travel through Africa is I try and incorporate game rangers, even the guys who look after the gardens. The gardener is actually a botanist. Because if you think about it, he keeps the mozzies away, he stops the bees from bothering you, he makes sure that the monkey doesn't steal your food, although they still do get around that. But they use paintball guns usually to keep them away. But the fact is, he keeps that place looking the way you want it to look when you bring your towel to the swimming pool. There's a guy that does that. There's a guy who makes sure that the snails have still got a place to go. Because we've invaded their space.
True.
We've invaded these animals and this fauna and flora. We've invaded that. So we need to find a way to cohabitate. And who's the best person to do that but the gardener? So we kind of forget that there are all these people that make up our experience. And that's what I try and do is I incorporate all of, and at first they're always a little shy. They're like, what am I supposed to say? But then 15 minutes later you're saying, okay, like, come get a move on here, you know?
They went overboard.
But I do encourage them to send me videos after I've left, to say, continue to send me videos and stories about the things that happen around you. Because I need content.
Absolutely.
And these people are now becoming proud of being African, proud of working where they are, proud of because they're part of a system that really works. So traveling in Africa has been great for me because it's something I haven't really done. I've kind of traveled around the rest of the world. But Africa, Zambia, Uganda, they all have these things where you have to, the sustainability is awesome because it's farm to table in reality. They have no great roads. The roads are not great. In fact, there are no roads. So what they have to do is instead of bringing avos from Kampala to Ginger, they have to grow them in the area. So they have to use what's in their area. If they're going to get a license, they have to use what's in their area. They have to buy from their local sustainability farmers. So what happens is when you eat at that lodge, you are eating fresh, new, grown, having just been picked stuff. You're not eating stuff that was frozen in Kampala, put on a truck, sent to you, flown in from wherever. And that's what's so amazing about Africa, is we're learning to be ourselves and be proud of ourselves and not try and be like another country.
Absolutely. That's so beautiful.
So that's what Africa really does, and it's what brings us to being amazing.
I know my friend Dominic is listening right now. He's a big proponent of where Africa is going. Also, an elderly white gentleman who believes in where the future of Africa is actually going. So it's incredible that you speak so well of Africa, when so many of us who are, natives, black, we always shut it down. We talk about all the negativity, like
divisiveness of it all. Yeah,
absolutely, you know. So it's so beautiful to hear how positive you actually see it. And
Africa
is
is
it
so
dangerous
safe.
for you as a white lady?
Okay, look, if they're going to kidnap me, I'm going to have to give them an IOU.
Okay.
Because I don't know where they're going to get the money from to give me back. And as all my mates say, they'll give you back. They'll even take money to give you back.
They're like, you don't have money, we'll give you money.
No, I mean, it is, for me, it's safer to, and the customs guys, when we get to an airport, my husband often travels with me and he's older than me. When we get to a customs guy, he's always, welcome to our country. You've got an Irish passport. You better come back because you don't need a visa. So it's like the customs guys from there have been taught to be custom and focused on the customer arriving to make our country great, whichever country we're in.
Yeah.
And when you enter the country, the guys are, I mean, in Kampala, if I'm walking down the road, they are so busy trying to stop me from falling down a pothole, they couldn't care about my phone.
Wow.
So you can leave your phone on a table and come back an hour later and it's still there.
Wow.
So there is a lot of safety in Africa that people don't see, but they're also very respectful of their travelers. They're respectful of you visiting their country. They want you to come back. So the whole way that they deal with customers is amazing. And maybe because I'm a customer. But if I talk to the locals and I see how they live, or I talk to them, they are delighted to be African. And you'll notice Africa doesn't travel within Africa.
That's true.
Because we used to only fly up and down, but now the airlines have allowed us to fly left and right as well. But if you look at the outbound from South Africa, our flights are full.
Yes.
If you look at the inbound from Africa, it's empty.
Oh.
For some reason,
They're not-
countries are not used to traveling. In other words, like Ugandans don't travel.
Oh.
Because they also, like us, their shilling is not worth a lot, the same as our rand. Our rand is sad. But if you travel in Africa, your rand can go further because they are allowing South Africans to travel as locals. So where there's a local rate for Ugandans in Uganda, you can request that as a South African.
Beautiful.
As long as you have a South African passport, of course.
Yeah.
That little green book that doesn't go very far anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
But in Africa, it does.
Goes
And
a long
remember,
way.
we're also the safest country. We're the safest continent because we only fight with each other. We don't fight with other guys outside of outside of our continent.
That's true.
And the only reason everybody wants this continent is because we have rich in minerals.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. I've got two voice notes I want to play before we say our goodbye. We've got 10 minutes to go. Geneine, I could speak to you for hours, man. I tell you, man. I've got a voice note that's going to come through. Listen, gents, you ready for this? This guy's about to talk about traveling. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Flying business class on a domestic flight is like economy, but with an extra seat in the middle. You're looking for privacy, but the only thing separating you from plastic utensils is that curtain over there. Flying business class for 2 hours is like taking your BMW out just to go and visit back opposite. It's unnecessary, but for me, this is a 2-hour mental health break from your country's economy. Economy ya Cyril. I'm on row 1F, so after the pilot, I'm the one who's in charge. Steel cutlery, just to collect it again in 15 minutes. It feels like I'm at my grandmother's house. Every occasion is a special occasion. I'm not quite sure what this is, but if you're ever wondering what pub looks like in business hours, this is it. So if you're in the front seat of transportation in South Africa, automatically you are in charge of counting the money. Dollars. Why am I not surprised? Business class, keep business class.
That's a comedian right there, man, talking about travel. I'm not going to go through all of them, Geneine, because of interest of time. I want to get more out of you. So where to from now for Geneine? I mean, putting together everything that you're doing. We didn't talk about your apps. I mean, we didn't talk about your T-shirt. We didn't talk. I mean, there's so much to talk to you about. But just where to from now? Where can people find you? Where is your content available? That kind of stuff.
Well, most of my content's on www.anytimemedia.co.za. That's where I put all my podcasts, my TV, all the connections, because I stream on a number of different radio stations. I have a show called The Real South Africa that is a 3-hour show that plays once a week, and we try and talk to as many interesting people as we can. Just mixing up content. Currently we're playing a lot of the Zambia interviews that I did up in Zambia. So you can find all my things on there. There's also the opportunity, if you're in travel, to travel with us. We've got a travel agent's trip going to Cape Town for 3 days in July, and then one to the Seychelles, and I'm looking quite forward to that.
Wow.
And we take the travel industry and media with us to go and experience things at a really low discount rate, just so that you can experience it as a group. So that's kind of what, and this year we're focusing on taking, allowing small businesses, because I'm very focused on small businesses and how to grow them and how to help them, is being able to take them up into Africa to all the different travel shows via a t-shirt or a brand or we'll represent you for a very low or an exchange. We'll take you up into Africa with us, and you can allow, because we create a meeting space with all the branding logos and allow small businesses who are visiting the expo to have a space to meet and feel important, that they can also have a table where they can put their laptop, that they can also be as big as the big guys, because I think that's important. All of us are always made to feel that if you're a little business, you're not really of consequence, but in actual fact you are. So that's our focus for this year, is to take small businesses up into Africa and allow them to exchange ideas and be able to, whether it's audio, video, whether it's a widget, a bottle of water, whatever it is that you into, we want to take you up with us.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. Gents, anything for her before? Because you guys have just been taking it all in, man. I've been like, these guys are not
haven't
even
said
moving.
much, have they?
No.
So much. I'm just really appreciative of listening to your wisdom. No, seriously. I mean, even with the traveling aspect of like you said, it's a little lonely, but even with what you're doing right now, you're creating your own tribe when you do travel, and you could take those with you and encourage them, because maybe they might feel lonely as well too. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it's just you have to do what you have to do. If something is your dream, you have to do it no matter what. It's like when somebody says, how many listeners do you have? I don't know, maybe my mother listens. Maybe my sister listens. Today maybe my husband listens. I don't know. But it's not about the numbers. It's about the fact that I loved what I did.
Yeah.
And that's what was important to me.
That's interesting. You say so much caring, compassionate things, and the joy. You've not stopped sharing joy. I've come to learn Africa, and I've been coming here since '98, is a place of happiness and joy. It's a origin place.
Yep.
So what you're talking about, they should have had you speaking to Trump.
That would have been fun.
To President Cyril Ramaphosa and some others, and I say that with very much intent. I was with the G20 this week and the C20, and a lot of the things that I got to hear is people are trying to find a way to connect the divide, but you're living the connection in the divide, and you are the connection with what you're doing. So for a person like myself, and I'm probably sure all of us, becoming a student and learning, because this is not an easy journey you're doing. I mean, first of all, to step out of the box and go somewhere you've never been by yourself, and being what was considered by picking a white woman, you're just a human being and a woman, but you're traveling into places where most women would never do.
Even black South African men.
Exactly, in fact. So I'm, as a fellow pioneer and person that's done this and traveled to many countries and left the box alone, I know this story. So I just appreciate, you being here and sharing. I'm a student, so I want to learn.
Oh no, listen, I love to teach, and I think inside all of us is a nomad, but we just have to find that nomad. And when you travel, as I said, you have to do what you want to do, because it's what you want to do, it's not what everyone else tells you to do. And sometimes we have to be the one that breaks that mold.
Is it being selfish when you say, I actually just want to travel, I don't care what you think? Don't tell me I can't go to a country that nobody else around us has ever been to.
I think, no, you have to know that there are safety rules.
Okay.
Like, I stick to safety rules.
Okay.
I don't go to somewhere if I'm uncertain of. I mean, seeing the gorillas was interesting. I couldn't climb down the mountain, and I just said, I don't have the money for a helicopter to fetch me at the bottom, so I'm not going. But you kind of have to also know your limitations and have to know that like now I'm going to the Congo in August, and everybody's kind of going, oh, but it's the Congo. But yes, Kinshasa is safe because I've checked. It's still safe, and I'm okay. And who's going to want me anyway? So, it's kind of, I want to go. I want to do the Congo. So I'm going to go see what happens, I mean,
oh my God.
I mean, and I hope you have one more minute just for me to tell you the story. When I was in Uganda, there was a fighting on the border with Congo, and I was on my way across to Ngamba Island to go and see the chimpanzees because I wanted to see how they were rescued. And while I was going over, I realized there was this fight right on the border, and there I am planning, okay, if I'm on this boat and I get there and then the Congolese come over and I need to get home, this boat goes to Kenya, so if I can just ask the boat driver to turn around and take me to Kenya so that I can go to Kenya and find my way to Nairobi and then find my way home. And he looked at me and he said, this is with the boat driver. And he looked at me and he went, seriously? So I said, well, I need to have an exit plan. That's my exit plan. He said, okay, cool. So you've got I said, otherwise I can't get home. And then what?
Yeah.
So I was very happy when I got home from that trip because our guys were really close to the border at the time. So I was like a little apprehensive. So there are times when I'm scared, and I'm always happy to admit when I'm frightened. Yeah. And that was one time I was.
Wow, man. Geneine, we could talk to you forever, man. It's been absolutely amazing just to hear your story. And thank you so much for sharing so much passion that you have for our country and for our beautiful Africa. Thank you for restoring our hope. I think many of us, we're just so disillusioned about the negativity that's happening in our world. And we just shut down from the beauty that Africa actually has to offer. So thank you. But
you've got to ignore the government and just be each other.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, none of us can change what's going on unless we change it between each other. If we can just be kind to each other and help each other, we don't have to worry about what they're doing because we can't change that anyway.
No, we can't.
So just do whatever you do, and every day remember to be kind to yourself.
Absolutely. Geneine, thank you very much. It's been an absolute pleasure. I just want to read one comment that we got. And Juliet Kakana said, we asked the question, what is your best way to travel to your holiday destination? Is it driving, plane or boat or cruise ship? She says, I prefer flying because it's quicker, but then it also depends on the distance and where I'm going. I would like to be on a cruise ship one day though. So thank you very much, Juliet. And of course, we couldn't go through all the voice notes, but we'll be back again sometime next week. Geneine, team, thank you very much. Feroza, we appreciate you.
Thank you all.
This has been the Gentleman's Club. It was such a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure being here.
Oh, man, this was amazing. All right. Echoes of the City is up next. And the guys are going to be joining you now between 11 and 1 o'clock right here on Bogart Radio. So we'll be back again next week. Enjoy.